Hello and welcome to Armchair Opinion. I'm your host Chris, and another Chris has recently released a movie, Christopher Nolan, and he absolutely knocks it out of the park with his latest release, Tenet. Starring John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, Tenet is a movie that's probably best viewed without knowing a single thing going in. In fact, a suitable synopsis is probably not even possible. The movie is incredibly complex, and many times throughout I was left scratching my head wondering just what was going on. This isn't a bad thing, far from it. A movie such as this, with this complicated a concept, is almost impossible to get financed from a studio for anyone other than Christopher Nolan. I don't believe anybody else would have been given this high a budget for this kind of concept. This movie requires paying an awful lot of attention, and even if you are paying attention, you'll still be confused, and this movie as such requires repeated viewings, I think, to really appreciate it. There's also quite a few religious undertones. This movie in general, I think, requires quite a few deep dives to really appreciate what's going on, which I personally love. The movie doesn't hand itself to audiences on a plate. You actually have to pay attention and think about it. Occasionally the movie gets bogged down in explanation and exposition, but I think despite that the movie moves along at a good pace, and the action set pieces are incredibly well done, interesting and incredibly tense. The sound design in this movie is absolutely first class and is a wonderful treat if you get the opportunity to safely view it in the cinema. The score brilliantly serves to elevate the tension, constantly keeping you on the edge of your seat during the action. During the more dramatic, dialogue-heavy moments, there's a deep cello that serves up a haunting ambience. John David Washington is great in the lead role. It's really nice to see a black man who isn't an already established name being given a lead role in a big-budget Hollywood movie like this. A role that has not one iota to do with race. The same role could have been played by a white man and nothing would have had to be changed whatsoever. They simply chose the best actor for the role in this case. That is very refreshing and I hope to see it more. Robert Pattinson is great in a supporting role. He's an incredible talent, a comedian actor who manages to blend into all of his roles very seamlessly. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does as Bruce Wayne in Batman. The movie must have been incredibly hard to film. There are times where the action is confusing. It's difficult to tell which character is which. It's also hard to tell what's going on sometimes in the action just from a visual standpoint, as well as conceptually not sure what's going on. But generally, considering the concept that they had to deal with, they handled it very well. This movie was a feast for the ears, for the eyes, and for the brain. Christopher Nolan is an incredibly interesting filmmaker, one of the most interesting filmmakers in Hollywood at the moment, and he continues to impress here. I'm going to give the Tenet a solid 9 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go ice my brain now because it's as tired and confused after that movie, but is grateful for the treat that it had to endure. And in endurance it was at nearly 3 hours. My brain was a little bit fried by the end of it, but definitely worth it, and I look forward to watching it again. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more of what I do, think about subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.